All right. 956 Business Review. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, brother?
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good. Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, you too, man. Nomás en puro social media, Dad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the future right there, man.
100,000 followers.
Yes, sir. Year and a half.
A year and a half?
Year and 7 months.
How'd you do it, man? How did that happen?
A lot of hard work and dedication, man.
Like as in, like when you first started the page a year and a half ago, you didn't have any other pages before that? Had you already tried like doing social media and stuff like that?
I had groups and stuff like that, like fishing, because I'm big into the fishing community
¿sí?
at one point in time. So I have a fishing group.
Órale.
956 South Texas Anglers.
¿Te gusta la pesca, carnal?
From the valley, man. You got to.
Yeah. ¿Canal o Laguna Madre
Laguna
o
Madre.
Deep Sea o qué onda?
Laguna Madre.
Laguna Madre.
Yes, sir.
Puro trout.
Yes, trout and reds.
Yeah, red snapper, papá.
I haven't been out there yet.
No?
I want to be out. I want to go out there deep sea.
¿Ya no haces mucho fishing o si haces, do you fish every weekend or what?
No, man. I used to fish every day, every other day. But since I started this 956 Business Reviews, it's been taking off so much and keeping me so busy that fishing has been put to the side. But
what were you doing? Like, what's your profession besides doing what you do on social media?
You know what? I get that a lot. You know, all the Karens and the haters. Hey, you need to get a real job. You need to get a real job. I'm like, I own a business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't know that. So I own a fencing business.
Órale.
Build fences like privacy fence.
Well, chinga, I need to talk to you, bro.
Okay.
Tengo que poner una privacy fence, carnal.
At your house?
Asústame one time.
Yes, sir.
You walk right into into a client.
Hey, that's what it's all about, man.
Es
Networking.
todo,
And, yes, sir.
So so before we get into your social media and all that stuff and your fencing and your fishing and all that, you're originally from Harlingen? Okay, ¿de dónde eres?
Born and raised in Harlingen. Yes, sir. Right
Man, what year did you go to school there? Harlingen High or Harlingen South?
High.
High.
AKA North.
Yo también
Cardinals.
soy Cardinal, bro.
Neta.
Sí.
No way.
I went to school there.
I didn't know that.
For about 4 months.
Hey, still.
Yeah,
Cardinal
man.
pride never dies.
It was 1983, I think. 1983. They had a smoking area for the students.
Dang.
Yeah. What year
That's
did you
crazy.
graduate?
I didn't graduate. I was supposed to graduate in 2005,
See?
but I had a baby and stuff like that. So,
Well, welcome to the club. Harlingen was my last stint in high school, too.
oh yeah, yes.
I got a job doing, a DJ at Louis' backyard. 17 years old.
Oh wow.
And
Started young.
yeah, so I said, well, this is where I'm making it, $1,000 a week. So, living on the island.
Back then, $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
That's
But
a lot.
it's interesting, bro. Like you didn't graduate, and I didn't graduate, and we did pretty good, I guess. You started your own business, bro.
Yes, sir.
That just goes to show that all it takes is some work ethic and some, How did you end up getting into the fence business?
Started when I got out of prison, man. I got out of prison in 2019.
Holy shit!
2019, I got out of prison.
See?
And,
So estás encerrado, bro.
yes, sir. I got sentenced to 10 years, and I did 5 straight.
Wow.
Then I was released on parole.
How did you end up getting there? And
Drinking.
see,
I like to drink, like to fight, at that time I was young and dumb and thought I was, Scarface, thought I was untouchable. And,
see.
So
when you got out of high school, were you a senior or were you
I think at that time I was a sophomore.
a sophomore, 10th grade?
Yeah, I was supposed to be in 11th grade, but it's a long story. So for a year or two, we lived in Carthage, Missouri.
Okay.
And I was going to high school over there, and I graduated to the next grade. But when we moved back down here to Harlingen, they're like, well, the credits over there are different from over here, so you're gonna have to do 10th grade all over again. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do 10th grade all over again.
Yeah.
I'll do a whole nother year in school. So that's when I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember Harlingen, you needed like 23 credits or something like that.
I can't remember. I can barely remember what I did last week.
Because when I was going to Mercedes High School, because I went to 3 different high schools, bro. A mí no me aguantaban, carnal, ¿entiendes? So they had 18 credits in Mercedes, and in Harlingen there was 23, and in Westaco there was like 23. So they'd come to Mercedes so they could graduate earlier.
I didn't know that.
Some
man.
students, they wouldn't.
I wish I would have known that. I probably would have over there.
So in Harlingen, when you were going to school there, what part of Harlingen did you grow up in, man?
La Reina and La Guadalupe.
Okay.
There's Zavala Elementary.
Okay.
So that's my neighborhood.
¿Dónde mero está eso en Harlingen?
So No, Guadalupe and La Reina, that is over there by Big M and the Queen of Peace Church.
Órale.
Queen of Peace. That's
Por la calle M Street, is it? No, ¿cómo se llama la calle esa?
I think it's New Combs or First Street.
Los Vecinos is around there, isn't it?
Los Vecinos, no, that's on the west side. That's over there.
But Queen of Peace, isn't it by Los Vecinos? Isn't
no,
it?
no. Queen of Peace is over there by the post office in Harlingen, the big post office.
I remember going to disco dances at the Queen of Peace when I was a kid.
The Queen of Peace is a church.
Sí. So you were on the east side of Harlingen then, right? Porque yo me juntaba...
I think it's the center.
The center. Yo me juntaba... When I used to, because I had family there. And they lived on Greenway in Commerce. And that's all by the old cop station on Commerce Street.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
LHEB, Long John Silver's. Weren't you just there at Long John Silver's the other day?
R.I.P. Long John Silver's. They tore it down.
Yeah, dude, yeah. So I used to hang out in that area where Coakley was. I think it's Coakley, Coakley Middle School. And then you had, Keeners on F Street. And then me juntaba con puros camaradas. Ahí por la Rangerville Road, bro, Bonita Park, all that stuff. I used to hang out with
there. That's crazy. I used to live there too, Bonita Park.
Yeah, pues
Rangerville.
Yo me juntaba con todos ahí, bro. That was my clique there, bro.
Wow, that's crazy. Puro clica.
Yeah, dude, yeah. So, you went to Harlingen High. What year did you graduate? Or were you supposed to graduate?
2005.
2005?
Yeah.
¿Te saliste en 2003? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
And then cuando saliste de la escuela, que you...
Well, actually, no. I had my daughter in 2004, so I think around there.
Okay. And then once you got out of school, what did you do? I mean, what happened?
Man, just living the street life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hustling.
Sí.
That's you know how it is in the hood.
Pues, yeah, pero pues, I mean, there's different types of hustling, you know what I mean?
Not the good kind, let's just say that.
Yeah, so you were trying to make ends meet? Were you slanging and stuff like that or what?
Yeah, I was, to be honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's your past.
That's what it's my past, you know what I mean? That's what I saw growing up, man. All family members.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's how we got money back in the days. So.
See, yeah.
That my family, we didn't have businesses. We didn't have stuff like that. It was always hustling, slanging, or doing something, illegal to make some money. So
yeah,
I saw that growing up, and finally, whenever I got to the age, I just kept on doing the same thing.
See, so you're like in your mid 30s right now, or 35?
38.
38. Mm-hmm. And so you got out of school, you were slanging for a bit, and then you said the drinking got you in trouble, or what?
Yeah, man. I've been drinking since a young age. I think around 12 years old. I've been drinking ever since.
It sounds like you're telling my story, bro. Because I started real young. Exact same deal, except for the slang, and I didn't really do too much of that, but I did a lot of consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, bro?
And just, man, in 2010, I was at home drinking one day, and I was like, man, I was already drunk. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go to sleep, so I went to the kitchen and the medicine cabinet looking for some medicine to put me to sleep, because I was just at home drinking by myself. The wife at that time and my daughters were asleep.
Were you doing anything else other than drinking?
No.
Oh, because to need medicine, even with alcohol, that means, I remember when I was doing some crazy shit, I need to go get me some Tylenol PM or something.
At that time, no. At that time, I was, sticking to the rules. Uh-huh. Don't get high off your own supply.
Yeah.
So I went to the medicine cabinet. I was looking for like some Tylenol PM or some NyQuil so I can drink to, make me go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I pulled out one of my bottles that I had. I was like suffering from anxiety and depression.
Sí.
And I was having panic attacks and all that kind of stuff. So the doctor prescribed me Xanax.
Órale.
And I never taken it.
Oh, wow.
And I had never taken it. It was just sitting there.
That stuff's addictive.
Yeah, that's why I knew not to touch it. But I grabbed it, and it was like cautious with alcohol may cause you to get drowsy.
Perfect. Let's take some.
I was like, hey, it's gonna make me go to sleep. Hell no. It did not make me go to sleep, man. It made me black out, and I ended up, hurting some people, and ended up getting aggravated robbery.
Holy shit!
My first time ever in trouble in my life.
Was that like? Did you actually during your blackout? Were you told what you did? What did you do?
I woke up in jail the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I here? What did I do? Why am I in jail? And they're like, oh, aggravated robbery and all that. I'm like, what? Like who did I rob? And I blacked out.
So what So apparently, you aggravated robbery. Was that a store or was it a person or?
It was my cousin.
Oh, it was your cousin.
Yeah.
Orale.
It's a crazy story, man. It's a crazy story.
Well, I love crazy stories,
oh,
bro.
It's crazy, man.
So-
So apparently, I blacked out, right? Mm-hmm. My wife at that time told me that I went to go lay down, and like all of a sudden, I just popped out of bed and just started rampaging. And I got out of my car. I went to my mom's house. Nobody answered the door, and I kicked down the door, and then my cousin came out and confronted me, and then we got in a big old fight, and he had a gold chain on, and after I beat him up, I took the gold chain off his neck. I'm like, this is what you get for for fucking with me. I don't know if I could cuss.
Yeah, man. Talk the way you want to
yeah.
talk, bro.
And so I got the necklace. I snatched it off his neck. As a sign of disrespect. You know what I mean? For you disrespecting me. And so that I didn't take it to rob him because I needed money. I took it to disgrace and make him look bad. Mm-hmm. And the cops put it as aggravated robbery.
Yeah. And then, so you had to go through the whole court process. The
whole court. And
your cousin followed through with a.
He dropped them. He dropped the charges right away, but the state picked them up.
Yeah. And so, how was your whole journey through that legal system, bro? Like
horrible.
Going through the court system. Were you let out on bail? Did they let you out, or did you have to wait in jail till you got?
They gave me like a $50,000 bond, and at that time I didn't have the $50,000 bond out, so I stayed in there about a month and a half there in Carizales. And then
how was your stay there at Carizales?
That's crazy, man. Like I said, I've never been in jail, never been in trouble. So,
was there
the whole talacha and all this stuff?
Yeah.
I was all new to that kind of stuff. But
how was the environment in there, bro?
It's bad in there, man. I don't recommend it at all, guys. Do not go in there.
Everybody's stuck in one room, or
they put like 20, 25 people on one dorm, and everybody wants to run the dorm, and everybody's, going through it with their baby mamas, and everybody's coming off of their high, and everybody's just mad, and, puro desmadre. And
a lot of anxiety in there,
anxiety and anger, and it's crazy in there, man.
Being locked up, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, so
how'd you survive those few months there in Carizales?
Just stick to myself, man.
Yeah.
Stick to myself and just...
Were there any incidents when you had to,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In there, you got to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone disrespects you, you have to take them in the shower and do your thing.
Yeah. So you got involved in some fights in there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how long were you inside Carizales again?
That was about a month and a half that time.
Wow.
Then I signed 10 years of probation, and, I got out. Mm-hmm. But then, probation... it's...
You got to keep up with that.
You got to keep up with that. No drinking, no drugs, none of that kind of stuff. And
for 10 years.
Exactly.
Damn.
I thought I could do it, but no, probation is just a setup, man. It's they set you up for failure, and honestly, it's very hard to complete probation.
If you hadn't gotten probation, what was the other side of it? What would you have had to go through?
Yeah, at that time for that charge, you're looking around 10 to 20 years. So,
So then you went out on probation. How long did you stay out on probation?
Oh man, I was out for. I was in and out, man. After that, I couldn't stay out of trouble, man.
See,
it felt like, just that stroke of bad luck, and it just kept going back and going back and going back, and then eventually it lasted about 4 years before finally the judge was like, you know what, I keep seeing you in here, I'm tired of seeing you coming in and out. Boom, they gave me the whole 10 years.
What were your thoughts when that happened?
Oh man, moment? I was tripping. I was freaking out. I was like, I started acting a fool in the court. They had to take me out because I was upset. You know what I mean? I was like, I have daughters, I have kids. You know what I mean? You're gonna give me 10 years? For getting in a fight with my cousin? I'm like, hell no, man. I'm like, so I started acting a fool, and they dragged my ass out of the court. I thought my life was over, man. I was like, that's it, man. I'm never gonna see my kids again. I'm gonna end up dying in here. I was just like, fuck. I was tripping.
Yeah, and so they took you back to Carizales, and how long were you there? Did they transport you to somewhere else or what?
Yeah, once you're sentenced, they'll end up sending you to Garza West.
Okay.
That's where there's like that's where they classify you and see where they're gonna put you.
Okay.
So you're there for about a month. And
Here in Cameron County still?
no, that's Garza West and Garza East. I believe it's in Beeville.
Beeville. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you're there after you get sentenced. You're there in Carizales for about I think like a month or two before you catch chain, and then they'll send you there.
And then from there, ¿pa dónde te mandaron?
They sent me to a place Dominguez unit in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
So there's that's where you stay for 2 years, and they try to see if you're gonna make parole in those 2 years, and if not, then they'll send you to the big units, the ID units.
Well, and then so you stayed in San Antonio pretty much through your entire
years.
tenure? Mm-hmm. Your 2 years, and then you were let out after 2 years?
Oh no, they sent me. I didn't make parole, so they sent me to the big units, the ID units.
And where was that at?
At that time, they sent me to Amarillo.
Wow, that's pretty far up there.
Yeah, prison over there.
So, out of all those, which one's the worst to be in? Is it the county? Is it Beeville? Is it San Antonio? Is it Amarillo?
Worst, in my opinion, and is Scotty Salas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because you're all in one tank?
Yeah, you don't go nowhere. You don't do anything. They don't, there's no really programs for you. But prison, you're able to go to church. You're able to go to school. You're able to,
Órale.
go to work. You're able to, move around and you have more freedom in there. So when I was in county, a lot of people were like, man, I can't wait to go to prison. I can't wait to go to prison. Man, I hate this place. I'm like, you want to go to prison, you freaking psycho? I'm like, what do you mean? This place is trash. The food sucks. You're just stuck in here all day and over
They're
there.
not supposed to make it comfortable for you.
Yeah.
They don't want you back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, but when you go to prison and you actually see the difference between county and prison, it's a lot better. I mean, you can go to school, you can get your GED, you can go on a trade, and you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different things you can do.
What was your thought process during that whole tenure? How long were you in prison?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
During those 5 years, what's the difference between your thought process at the beginning of your, sentence to the end of your sentence?
Oh man, like I said, when I first got sentenced, I thought my world was over. I thought my life was over. I thought I was never gonna see my kids again, and so I took it hard at first. You know what I mean? But then after the years go on, you start to just get numb, and you're just like,
it becomes routine.
It becomes routine, yeah. You get institutionalized, and you just like, hey, this is home now, and you try not to think about the outside world because that's when you start going crazy, man.
Yeah.
What is your wife doing? What is your kids doing? What's going on out there? So you tend to shut everybody out, and you become real cold, real numb.
Yeah.
And just So like I said, when I first started, it was real rough, and then towards the end, man, it was just routine. This is just my life now.
Yeah.
But, I needed it because I was drinking every day. I was partying every day. And eventually, so in there, I sobered up.
It was a blessing in disguise.
It was a blessing in disguise. Yeah. It took me a while to figure that out. I was so mad at the world, mad at the judge, mad at the cops, mad at everything. But really, it was me. I put myself there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure that out.
That's what I think the problem is with a lot of people. They refuse to take accountability.
Exactly.
And then they end up realizing it if they're put in some sort of situation. And unfortunately, some don't ever, salen de la pinta y regresan, mato. They just keep coming in and out.
Unfortunately, I met a lot of people that love going to prison.
Yeah.
They like it in there. They like because in there, if you're, mean enough and you're connected enough, you can run some prisons.
And there's no responsibility like
bills.
paying.
No bills.
Yeah.
No,
Three squares a day.
Yeah. You get fed every day.
The only thing is there's no women, there's no conjugal visits or anything like that.
Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no, bro?
Yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of guys in there that pull the guards.
Yeah.
To be honest. You know what I'm saying? They're female guards, and they're lonely, and they're having problems at home with their husbands. And you have, Fabio in prison, talking into your ear, and man, it's a lot of guards get in trouble.
Temptation, Papa?
Temptation Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yes and no.
So you paid your dues, man.
Yeah, I paid my debt to society, man, and really, if it wasn't for prison, I wouldn't be who I am today. Because the path that I was on, I was either gonna kill myself or kill somebody.
Yeah.
And so those are my two options.
That's crazy when you say prison saved me. You know what I mean? Isn't that interesting?
I got my I went to prison. I got my GED. I went to college to go get my LCDC, which is a licensed chemical dependency counselor.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did a lot of stuff in there, man. That positive things.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. So you get out of prison. What year was that?
I got out January 7th of 2019.
2019. And did you get into what were your thoughts? What were you planning to do as soon as you got out?
Man, that's a hard question. My first thing was my daughters. I had two girls at that time.
And how old were they?
At that time, man, I can't remember exactly how old they were when I got out. I know they're like, I want to say.
How old are they now?
16.
They're 16 right now?
No. At that time, they were probably like maybe 16 and 15. And now they're 20 and 19.
So they were about 12 or 11 when you went in?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So my number one thing was to spend as much time as I could with them. And after that was get a job.
Yeah.
Work. I need to work.
See.
You know what I mean? And another thing, when I was in there.
Stay busy, yeah.
When I was in there, I signed up to get my OSHA card. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with OSHA.
Yeah, the
OSHA certified.
Yeah, so they
Safety,
can safety. Yeah.
So I have my OSHA card, and then they prepare you for your release, man. They get you your Social Security card and birth certificate. That way, when you're released from prison, boom, here you go. Here's your birth certificate, Social Security card, and I don't want to hear no excuses that you couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
So they kind of prepare you, you know what I mean, throughout the process. So that's good.
See. And so and it's weird because you got out 2019, right? 2018?
2019, yeah, January 7th.
And then
right?
COVID hit right after that.
Exactly.
So you were locked up in prison, and then you ended up having to be locked up at home.
Exactly.
So you didn't have too much of a window to, produce between your release and COVID. So as soon as you got out, you went and you said you had to start working. What did you find or what?
So that's the thing. It was very hard for me to find a job because one, I just got out of prison, and two, my charge, aggravated robbery. Nobody wants to hire you, man.
Yeah.
Because they think you're gonna rob them. So I mean, I had a better chance of getting a job if I was, a drug dealer or some other it could be any other felony, even murder. But robbery, who wants to hire a robber, man?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a job at a bank. I'm not going to get a job at a jewelry store or nothing because, hey, this guy, he's a robber.
See.
But a lot of people had this common misconception that I rob banks or I rob stores, and it wasn't even like that. You know what I mean? So I was putting a lot of job applications. I put literally like 200 to 300 job applications on Indeed because before I went to prison, you put application, you go to the business and you do a paper application.
Okay.
But within those 4 or 5 years in prison, everything was like online. So it's very hard to find a job that you do it by paper anymore.
See. Yeah.
So at that time I did it, and I was getting some calls for interviews, but I was being very honest because I don't want to waste their time or mine. So I used to tell them, hey, do you have time for an interview? I'm like, yeah. But before we even started, I would tell them, hey, I just got out of prison, this, and that. And, they were like, oh, okay, this, and that. So long story short, I couldn't find a job, man. It took me, I'll say a good month before I found a job, and with a fencing company.
Orale.
So a fencing company, that guy locally, I know him for many, many years, since high school.
¿Cómo se llama la compañía de él?
At that time, his business is Perfect Touch Fencing.
Órale.
So I've known him for many years.
You started with him?
I started with
him.
He
gave you a break?
He gave me a chance, but start from the very bottom. I started from the very bottom, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Cleaning up, cutting the grass, washing his cars and stuff like that.
See.
So he would call me like once a week. Hey, come cut the grass, come organize the material outside, working out there in the sun, cleaning his cars. And it got to the point to where he would be like, hey, I need to drive to Corpus to go do a fence quote, but I don't, can you drive me over there? I'm like, yeah. So it got to the point to where every time he would call me, I would tell him yes, because I mean,
Dale
making
gas.
that little $60-$70 a day.
Vamos.
As soon as I got it, I would call my daughters. Hey, let's go to Burger King. Hey, let's go to what's that place called? Dairy Queen. You know what I mean? Just so I can spend you know what I'm saying? So every time he would call me, I'd be like, yes. And it got to the point to where I was so reliable and dependable. He's like, hey, you want to learn how to do fencing, how to do quotes? I'll teach you. I'm like, yeah. So slowly started going like that. He started calling me twice a week and then 3 times a week. And it got to the point to where I was working every day.
Yeah.
And I worked my way all the way from cleaning his trucks and cutting his grass all the way to I had my own office.
Fíjate.
I had my own desk at his office. Wow. And I was basically the lead guy at the residential department.
It's amazing, bro.
Within a year.
Wow. And so during COVID, obviously, was there work or no? Did y'all have work during COVID?
There was, but there was a lot of red tape.
See?
Because you had to be an essential worker.
Yeah.
And you couldn't be driving around. So, but during COVID, when they shut it down, they're like, everybody go home, shut down your businesses and all this stuff. Me and him had a falling out. We had a falling out. You know, we weren't agreeing on some stuff. So I ended up quitting. Mm-hmm. And when I quit, my sister-in-law, she messaged me. She was like, hey, my cousin's fence, his gate, you know, his double gate burned down. They were barbecuing and I guess it caught flame. So it burned down. Can you give him a quote? I was like, hey, I don't work there no more. I mean, they're like, she was like, oh, you don't? I didn't know that. And she was like, well, can you go over there and like give him a rough estimate? You know what I mean? Just so he could know more. I'm like, yeah. So I went over there, took the measurements, and I did the breakdown, and I talked to some guys that I knew that, you know, subcontract. And they're like, hey, we'll do it for this much and this and that. So I was like, hey, you're looking around, you know, $800 to take it all down, replace it and everything. He was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, wow, do it. I was like, all right. So I called the guys and I landed that job. Yeah. And then that's when I was like, you know what?
Ding.
Ding. Hey, this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I'm good at. I'm a people person. I'm able to, you know, gain people's trust. I have that gift to gab. I've been in sales my whole life. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, I made a $200 that day. And I'm like, damn, I had to work all week for this. And I just made it in one day. And then that's why I started like, I'm going to start my own business.
Yeah.
So
and what's the name of your business, your fencing business?
JPS. JPS Elite Fencing.
Out of Harlingen?
Out of Harlingen.
Wow.
So JPS is Jeramy, which is my name, Paris, and Sierra.
Órale, las hijas.
So it's because I wanted it to be a family thing.
Sí.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, growing up, we never had businesses. We never had careers. We never had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to, it means something to me, that name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to, when I do leave this world, maybe hopefully in another 20, 30, 40 years, you know, I could leave this business to my family or my grandkids or something like that.
Yeah, a legacy.
A legacy, yeah.
Yeah. And then,
break the chains. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you definitely broke the cycle, bro.
Break the cycle.
Yeah, you definitely did, man. And so then you got into social media where you decided to do 956 business reviews.
956, yes.
And I follow your page, and it's you're very consistent on it, you know. And so, did you start that? What made you start that page? 100,000 followers already, bro.
Yes, sir. Now 101 now.
Órale.
Yeah. When I hit the 100,000, like 2 days later, I hit 101. So yeah, bro, it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
So what started it, man? So for many, many years since I got, even before prison, I would always go out to Chili's or Applebee's and stuff like that, and I would take a picture of my food and I would post it on my personal page. And everybody would like it, and in the comments, everyone would be like, "Oh, that looks so good." They would tag their wife, they would tag their Sanchas or whatever, and be like, "Hey, you know, look at this. I'm gonna take you out to lunch and stuff like that." And I would always joke around. I'm like, "Damn, I need to start charging Chili's for advertising." You know what I mean? I'm over here, you know, making them all these sales, and I used to do that for years. You know, just joke around. And then, like I said, a year and 7 months ago, business was slow because, man, prices of materials went up and everything, and it was harder for me to find jobs and stuff like that. So I was bored. I was at home a lot bored, and I was just. There's one guy on TikTok. His name is Keith Lee, and he started off just, you know, cooking at home. He had 0 followers, and now he has like 17 million followers on TikTok.
Wow.
And what he does, he goes to restaurants and just tries out their food and tell people what he thinks about it. And it's called the Keith Lee effect. Keith Lee can go to a restaurant, and if he says the food is good, man, the next day, line out the door.
Yeah.
Sold out for like the next week.
See.
Because he's so popular, and if he says it's good, it's good. So I would always watch his videos. I'm like, man, I want to do that, man. I want to be able to go to a restaurant and change their lives, or any business. You know what I mean? If I say this business is 956 Business Reviews approved, and I put my name on it, my followers go and they make more sales. They're able to keep their doors open and stuff like that.
The mom and pops.
The mom and pops, right? Yes. Yeah, so that's why I started it, man, and it just blew up.
Yeah,
it's blowing up so fast.
Yeah,
man,
it took a year and a half to reach 101,000.
101,000.
That's incredible. And you don't just put business reviews either. You put like funny pics and stuff like that, right? You keep it entertaining too, man.
That's another thing about my page. It's a little bit of everything. You got breaking news. You got funny stuff. You have, made in the 956 stuff, business reviews, food reviews, movie reviews. I do it all.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's growing so fast, because it's a little bit of everything, man. You come, you open my page, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you know what I mean? There's so many different things. And I put a lot of my story as well. And a lot of my followers tell me, man, hey, my testimony of how I was in prison, came out homeless, no car, no shoes, no underwears, no nothing. And now look how I build myself up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's an inspiration. And I like to emphasize that a lot and tell people, hey, if I can do it, you can do it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? If you stay sober and don't drink and you just stay focused on yourself and building yourself up, man, the sky's the limit.
Do you ever get tempted to drink or do anything like that?
No.
Ya te pasó todo eso.
I can hang around. I could go to a bar, 2, 3 in the morning. Everybody's drinking and drunk. I don't even think about it.
Success is a better buzz, right?
That's my drug. Money. I hate to say it, but success and money and giving my family the stuff that I didn't have growing up. That's what feeds me now.
Yeah.
That's what drives me.
Yeah.
Is giving my family nice things and make sure they're comfortable, because hey, we only have one shot at this. You know what I mean?
We have to be very giving.
Exactly.
In order to keep from being selfish the way we were before.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And
I try to give back to my community as much as I can. Especially when I see like stories on Facebook of businesses that are about to shut down. They're like, hey, we have no customers. We're probably going to have to shut down. And those are the ones that I want to go and try to help.
See.
You know what I mean? So I do charge some, but it depends if they have, because there's bigger businesses out there. You know what I mean? I get hired by doctors and lawyers and people that have money. So I try to you have to find a balance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How to give back and also make this a living, because hey, I got bills too. You know what I mean? I got rent. I got, truck bill.
It's work.
So yeah, I mean,
you got to stay grinding.
A lot of people think I just drive around all day and free gas and free everything. No, man. No, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I try to find a balance to where I can make this profitable, but also give back to my community. But honestly, I give back more than I take.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are businesses that do have money set aside for advertising and promotions. So those, I mean, of course, you know what I mean? They have it, but there's some that don't. So, I try to, you have to find a balance.
You sure do. And as far as your posting as well, like you do post different stuff, which is a balance in itself, because if it's nothing but businesses, it becomes spam and people tend to tune out a bit, but
exactly.
You do entertaining, you do breaking news, you do all that good stuff.
Oh, man. Yeah. So. It's like reporting.
Yeah.
Because if there's something breaking, I'll drive to Brownsville. I'll drive over there to get the story.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have the story faster than the news does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Independent journalism is going on now, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what's with the gloves, man? I mean, you wear the. I see every time you do the thumbs up, he's got that rip from Yellowstone effect, right, going on with the gloves.
Man, that's how everybody recognizes me.
Yeah, it's like a signature.
Yes, it is. It became a signature, but it started in prison. Because in there, it's so dirty, man.
See,
So you're in there sharing the same toilets, the same sinks with people that have HIV, that have hepatitis.
Wow.
And, you have to share the same stuff. So I became like a clean freak. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point to where I just didn't want to touch anything anymore that was not mine.
Yeah.
So in prison, they sell gloves, like cotton gloves for like when you're working out, stuff like that.
Simon.
And so I would use those, you know what I mean? And then when I got out of prison, COVID.
Yeah.
Hey, wear gloves, sanitize. You're gonna die. Don't touch nothing. Wash your hands. So it brought because I have like OCD. So I brought it from just regular, and it brought it up like 10 levels.
Yeah.
So now it got to the point to where I don't want to touch anything and stuff like that because I have OCD where I had OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
When you do something obsessively and compulsively without you have to do it. So my thing is washing my hands. Mm-hmm. If I don't wear gloves, I literally have to wash my hands 100 times a day, if more.
See,
every time I touch something, I think my hands are dirty, so I have to wash. And then I'll turn off the sink, and I'm like, I have to wash them again.
Yeah.
So I'll turn it off with my elbow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'll go grab something to eat out of the fridge. I'm like,
and you lift the toilet seat with your foot.
yes, everything.
And you flush it with the other foot.
Yep.
The other shoe, yeah.
So that's what it is, man. It's OCD. It helps me control my mind, so I don't constantly have to wash my hands all day.
And in a sense, it's also a reminder of where you were and where you are now, too, dude.
And now it's became a little trademark. My little
it's
thing.
A trademark, yeah.
So I mean, this last Halloween, there were some people that were dressed up as me as their costumes for Halloween. They had the gloves on and their little suit and their little glasses, and one of them was a little kid. He went to school like that, and after school, they go trick or treating, and he wore his outfit.
That's crazy.
He was 956 Business Reviews.
That's awesome, bro.
And then a lot of people were telling me too that there was some guy in Bass Pro Shop that works there, and he was dressed as me as well for Halloween. I'm like, wow,
you've become somewhat a celebrity around here, bro.
I get that a lot, but nah, man, I'm just a normal guy.
That's great, man. Jeramy, I appreciate you coming to the show, man.
No problem, brother.
You have a very inspiring story, dude, and I thank you for opening up your life to us here on the show, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me, man. It's an honor.
956 Business Review. Make sure to follow it on social media, and if you need any fencing, this is the guy that'll do it for you. Right here, it's JPS
Elite Fencing.
JPS Elite Fencing. Look them up. And thank you for watching the show, man. Rock and roll, James. Asústame one time,
yes,
Jeremy.
sir. Thank you.